we can design this. You can find templates for Word. You can find templates for Publisher. Adobe Illustrator. Those of you who are in the Mac family are familiar with Pages. But how many in this room have had to use PowerPoint to present something at Toastmasters or at work? Are you familiar with PowerPoint? I can tell you that PowerPoint is one of the easiest programs to design in, and that's what I'm going to teach you today. The program that I am using right now is PowerPoint 2010. Some of the features that I use aren't available in 2007 or 2003's version. I'm using PowerPoint 2010, and I'm literally going to walk you through how to do this to make this presentation. That means there's going to be some work.
Uh-oh. Richard's taking off his jacket.
This is the workshop portion, right? So we have to roll up our sleeves and get ready to go to work. The fact that it's warm in here has nothing to do with why I'm doing this. All right, so we start exactly where everyone starts their PowerPoint presentation, with a new presentation. Starts off blank. We next go up to the tab on Design, and we choose a landscape design. This is in-house, it's in 2010 right now. Choose this in landscape. But you can produce a flyer in landscape. Some of the ones that you saw were in landscape, but this particular one were produced in portrait. So we go up and choose slide orientation and choose portrait. Easy enough. But there's text boxes already on this, ones that I don't want to use. So I do a Control A, which will select all those, and I hit delete, and now I have a blank screen to work with. Nice. Everyone with me so far? Mm-hmm. We're going to go through this quickly. We're going to insert a picture. Where's the number one place to find pictures? Google. Yeah. Indeed. And it should relate. I found this picture by laying in the word gavel and found this picture. You really want to look for copyright-free pictures, and there's a lot of them out there, but if you're having difficulty finding them, Wikimedia Commons, everything is copyright. If you're going to use this printing for cash profit purposes, you need to have copyright-free photos. If you're using it for personal use, not making a profit, copyright will let you use it for a one-time use. JPEG versus PNG. How many people know what the difference is?
One person in the room.
It's really important. I would type in gavel PNG. PNG, every JPEG is going to have a white background. And if I'm working in the black, that white may not work well in the design. The PNG has a transparent background. And so it's necessary to know the difference and how to use them. When you go on to our Toastmasters International and look for graphics, they offer both. And that's the reason why. Here's the photo. This is where it started. This is Gerard's personal photo. I slapped it on there. I inserted it up with picture. Inserted it. Notice how it just sits there? Mm-hmm. It almost blends into the colors in the background. There's nothing there.
Good-looking guy. Picture gets lost.
Gets lost. All right. So we're going to do something with it. We're going to go up. I can't see my screen from here, so I'm going to look up at the screen. We're going to go up at drawing pictures, and we're going to seek the bold white background. That's what we put. Right? It's still better, but it's still not helping. So we're going to add a little tilt to it. You're going to go up into pictures. You're going to select rotate. You're going to select more rotation options. And this is a -6 tilt.
Why are we tilting it in this direction? Exactly, so that it draws our eye toward the center of the page.
And this is what Shawna was talking to us about, off-center tilt. All right, next thing is we need text. It's really simple. We go to the text box, we stretch across and create a text box. Every piece of text that you're going to put on your flyer is going to be done this way. I type in Parley Pro. I know that I want to emphasize this, so I am going to underline it. Does that do anything for you? You know, not yet. It needs something. It needs some pizzazz. We need to make it large headline reverse type. You see that I've moved it up. You may not be able to tell on that screen. That's the reason I've told you this is Bodino Empty Black 96 point. If you're going to use reverse type, it has to be big, or it's not going to get noticed. Every single item on that page is put in a text box. I have highlighted every single text box that's on that page. Once you know how to stretch a text box, you've got this flyer done. Well, okay, maybe not done. All right. All right. Notice the white space.
Look at all the white space. This is really important. Notice all the white space. This is where your eye gets to rest. Move on down to the next line. Keeps your eye moving down the page.
How many people understand what center means on print? How many people know what ragged right means? How many people know what justified means? All right. This is ragged right. Shawna, what's ragged right?
Ragged right is when it's ragged on the right. It's not justified. It's not straight lines on both sides of the margins. It's not on the left with a right-hand straight margin and ragged on your left-hand side. Ragged right. This is the most typical reading style of most printed pieces. It's what our eye expects. When you want to emphasize something or balance something as an element, justified is great. When you want to fill the middle of a page, centered is great. When you want to fit something along the right-hand margin, right side justified, ragged left is great. But this ragged right is what our eye is most accustomed to seeing. It's the most comfortable. But notice that Richard didn't go all the way over to the right-hand edge of the page. He left some white space, so we have some relief from a lot of text in a small space. White space.
But it's still kind of boring. Still kind of boring.
He said it.
All right, so we add a little spot color to remind you of what's really important. We want to draw your eye to do these two things, and so we add a spot color. We highlight the text inside the text box. We go up to the drawing tool, over to the text fill, and we choose, and you can actually click and find out what that's a burnt orange, but that's a specific color. It matches it into some of the orange tones that are in the photo. I'm choosing that color purposely to join in to make it good content.
Why would we not choose something like blue?
Because there's no other blue there. We wanted to catch the eye. It matches.
It really blends in to pick up some of that background color from the picture.
Now we're going to lay in, this is our Toastmaster logo in PNG. It's a clear background, so it's a PNG. And this is grayscale. You can get this right off the TI site. But you saw in some of those flyers that I created, I had Toastmasters in color. Colors that they don't offer. So I used this. You go up to insert to picture tools, see the color that's highlighted, and you get all these different color tones. The third one from the bottom up middle is grayscale. You can do this in reverse. I had all these color pictures that I used here that you saw, but I needed to print it in black and white for the handout. So I just reached up and grabbed grayscale for all that so that it would look good on the flyer.
I have a great opportunity here that I hadn't planned on showing you the difference between JPEG and PNG. You see how this box around this Toastmasters logo in yellow forms a square around the box? In JPEG, that square will be white behind the logo. In PNG, it looks like this. That's the difference. In JPEG, you're going to have a white background. In PNG, you have essentially no background.
you have actually just created your flyer. You now will save it as a PowerPoint so you can edit it. But how are you going to use it? You must save it as a PDF, which is print. Does anyone know what PDF
Portable
stands?
document
Format. Thank you. And so this is how you can send it to anybody, any club, to print out and hand out to their members.
You can also send it by email as an attachment, as a PDF, and just about any computer user can open it. Save it as a JPEG and send it out to other people. Sometimes people will have trouble opening it as a graphic.
You want to insert it into an email, you want to insert it on Facebook, you must save it as a JPEG. Every flyer that you've seen on this screen is a JPEG. It's not a, you can't load a PDF into PowerPoint.
So when you go to Facebook and you want to upload your flyer to post on Facebook, it will not offer you the option of bringing it in as a PDF. You have to bring it in as a JPEG. There are other formats that that Facebook can take in, but we're working with PowerPoint. So we're going to save it in what PowerPoint can save it as, and that will give you the opportunity to use it on Facebook.
So now your flyer is ready. Question is, how long did this take you? Let's start through this entire presentation, all the way through, all the different steps. Seems like it's an awful lot of steps. It actually is 10 steps to create a flyer. Any of us can master 10 steps. It's easy enough.
How many here are finished with the CC manual?
How many of you have had to use PowerPoint for your number 8 project? Right? You're already familiar with PowerPoint. Now you can use it to make print media.
So for those of you who haven't gotten to that project yet, you've now been educated on how to do that.
You've also learned how to make your PowerPoint regardless if it's a... Right, so this is it.
That's
All right,
it
the next
on
step.
how to make a great flyer. Who learned something? Fabulous.
All right.
Every flyer, we started with flyers because this is an important part. It builds everything else that you do.